So obviously, with all the new faces, just talk about the chemistry of this team right now, the chemical makeup, how you guys want to go into the season.
So I really wouldn't say there's a lot of new faces. You know, JD coming in, our new head coach. I guess you can consider that as a new face, but he's a Miami guy. He's been down here forever. He was our pitching coach last year. So a lot of the same things got going on with him, and then with a whole bunch of new guys. The freshmen look good. We got a lot of guys that returning now that JD's our head coach, and I think the team chemistry coming into our first weekend is looking really, really good. This is a team compared to last year that I would say is like we bond a lot better together on and off the field, which I appreciate a ton. So yeah.
Obviously, a very big freshman year. Just what have you worked on in the offseason to try to improve and build upon that?
Defense was the main focus, and also hitting with 2 strikes was another main focus from last year.
And a lot of guys, some of the biggest bats, Yo-Yo, CJ, are going to the pros now. You were kind of, JD mentioned that you were kind of protected in the lineup a lot last year. Now you're one of the main guys. Yep. How do you handle that? Mentally, how do you just focus on doing your thing?
I just gotta trust and believe in my coaching staff and whatever they put me through and whatever the steps that we go through to be able to compete in the game. That's what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna trust that they got my best interests, and that's what I'm gonna do.
Also, a great year last year, like Adam said, but now going into this year, what are some of the advice you're giving to the younger freshmen saying, this is what I did here last year, and this is how you can make success for yourself?
Yeah, for sure. It's a big thing, because last year I had Yo-Yo Morales, who's a guy I really look up to, even to this day, to a lot of people. Yo-Yo Morales is one of my biggest role models. And what I tell these young guys is, just take it day by day. And, you can have one bad day, but it's just one bad day. It's not a big deal. You got to look at every game, every pitch, just, kind of be easy with everything. You don't got to stress about it too much. It's a big stage, a lot more fans coming in than they're used to, and, these guys, they come here and they're ready for it. And the biggest thing that as a young guy when I came in last year was the atmosphere. It wasn't the game. The game's still baseball. Nothing's changed there. So you just really got to trust that this game you've been playing since you're a little kid, and that's all it's ever going to be. It's just a game.
Like you hear yourself, you're comparing yourself. You're like you're an old person. You keep saying the young guys are a sophomore.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm only a sophomore, but we do got a lot of young guys on this team that can make a huge impact. Just like Cuvet, he can make a huge impact, and he's a freshman now, and a guy that I love hanging out around. So. Yeah.
What's the energy like in the clubhouse? Is more excitement, anxious, kind of leading up to this, Friday?
I would say there's always excitement, always leading up to this Friday night game, and there's been excitement since we got here, especially since I got back. I didn't get to play summer ball, and right when I got back, I was ready for this Friday coming up.
And what are you looking, most forward to when you step out there Friday?
Just to win and just to play together as a team and really to show everyone what and how hard we've been working, and really kind of to shock the college baseball world is what I'm really looking forward to.
Blake, what was the highest and lowest point of your freshman year?
The highest point was probably playing the University of Florida, and all this success that I ended up having as a freshman, and the lowest point was definitely losing in a regional at home against Texas and actually being the last out.
Blake, just with the transfer portal and college baseball, players obviously can go elsewhere. Players from here did too, but why was it important for you to stay at Miami to see it through, essentially?
Yeah, so I've been a guy that's been committed to Miami for a long time. I committed at a really, really young age, and I'm a person, I kind of pride myself as a man of my word, and so even throughout high school I committed here early, and that's where I was going to come play. I wasn't going to decommit, wasn't going to go anywhere else. Same thing with the transfer portal. Nothing's changed. I came here to play baseball, and nothing is going to change that. This is where I committed to. This is the program and the city I committed to.
You mentioned kind of being that last out in the regional. Has that kind of fueled you through the offseason? Is that something you think about? Just kind of giving you a little bit of motivation?
No, I really I kind of just let it go after that last day. It stung for that day, and then after that, new season, new goals, new accomplishments. I don't want to let the past bring anything down, or even if it brings me down, don't want to let it bring the team down.
Hey Blake, you said that one of the highest points last year was playing Florida. You guys get them early in March, this time at the Light. What are kind of your thoughts on that? Is that like a special series, I guess, when you get the schedule?
Yeah, I would say it's always a special series just because it's the history of Miami and Florida. So bringing them down here now, we went up there last year, bringing them down here to our field. the atmosphere is just going to be electric, and that's what I'm most excited for, is that atmosphere of college baseball.
Like,
We'll do two more
with
for Blake.
JD being his first year as head coach, even though you've already worked with him, what's been the biggest message now as he makes that transition from pitching coach last year to now here, motivating you guys for the season?
Yeah, what I love about JD is he's really easy to talk to. So, you know, like if I have anything that any concerns or anything that I needed to say, like he's so approachable. It's really easy for me to come up to him and be like, hey, like I got a question about this, this, and this, and you know, it's like he's my head coach, but he's also one of my, like, I look at him like a father figure, kind of. I've always looked at JD that way. Even when he was recruiting me in high school, I've always kind of looked at him like as a father figure, and he always had the best interest. So I really like that. I have him as a head coach, but I also have in my back pocket someone that I really, really look up to and always know that he has my best interest.
Like you talked about Yo-Yo Morales being a big influence on your game.
Yeah.
You had a chance to reconnect with him during the alumni game.
Yeah.
So can you talk about just
of course.
what you guys talked
Seeing
about?
Yo-Yo here, he's here all the time, right? And there's a lot of alumni that come back all the time. But seeing Yo-Yo here every day, like, I would say when I was playing with him, like, yeah, amazing player, probably one of the best baseball players I've ever played with, Yo-Yo Morales. But now after that he's been gone and now I see him back at the field every day, that's when I've truly realized like how much of a role model he really was to me. Like I still look up to that guy. I'm still like, wow, like that's who I pride myself off of. Like I want to be just like Yo-Yo. And to think that he's only 2 years older than me, just kind of to show you what kind of person and player that he really is.
Speaking of great third baseman, I think I saw Manny Machado was here earlier today.
Exactly.
You had a chance to pick his brain at all?
Yeah. So Manny and I got to talk to him for a little bit, and you know, we didn't really talk about much, just kind of that short, shallow stuff. But other than that, I love talking to him, love getting to meet him, and that's another cool thing about being down here in Miami. You're always having those kind of guys showing up.
And Mr. Cuvet.
So yeah, just, you know, obviously your first year here, just what's it been like kind of getting used to college, you know, both on the field and, you know, baseball stuff, but also just getting used to being in college?
Yeah, so I was in that academy for my last 2 years of high school, and this is what we did. We trained every day, 3-4 hours a day, and kind of similar scenarios. So being here, it's been a little bit more and a little bit of an adjustment, but pretty similar to where I was before, so I'm loving it.
I've heard a lot of good things about you from players and the coaching staff. Just what's helped you hit the ground running here at Miami the most?
Yeah, I've been welcomed by the older guys. A lot of the older guys have made me feel like I'm at home. I've always wanted to be here. Talking to older guys before I came here even helped me a lot. So them really helping me and guiding me through my freshman year has been a big help.
What's the biggest adjustment you had to make, you know, from high school now?
I mean, I'm still the same player. There's not really an adjustment. I'm still focused. I bring the same energy, the same focus I had been since high school.
Obviously, big shoes to fill at third base after Yo-Yo goes to the pros. Just is that something you think about or have thought about? You know, does it make any kind of like, give any kind of feeling about that? I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it has no effect on me at all. Me and Yo-Yo get along well, and I'm here. I'm I'm myself, my own player. I'm Daniel Cuvet. I got my own swing. I got my own throw. I got my own fielding way. So I'm here to be myself and bring my own energy every day.
Daniel, obviously you were drafted, but you elected to come here to Miami instead. What were some of the things you kind of took away from that process that you want to come and prove that you know you can do to the major league scouts this season?
Yeah, I mean, it was a simple process for me. I know what I wanted going into the draft or coming here. Some things weren't met, so I decided to come here, and I'm very happy to be here. It's been a huge help for me. I mean, I've grown a lot more than I thought I would have in a quick manner, and thanks to the coaches here.
Daniel, why is college baseball, why was that the best option for you? For your development, why do you feel like college baseball was for you?
I mean, I really feel like in college we have a way more focus on winning and being a winning baseball club, where in the minors you kind of more have a developmental side of it. So being here and in a winning aspect of it is like huge, and I love that. I'm a big winner, and I think the guys around here are, so I'm really excited for that.
Daniel, what's the best piece of advice you ever got?
I don't know an answer for that.
What's it been like working with JD, with Coach Fenster since you got here?
Yeah, Fenster has helped me tremendously on my defense, especially because that's something that I've struggled with before. And JD has been a great help for me. He's been hard on me. He's been pushing me to be my best version of myself every day, and that's all I could ask for from a head coach.
Anything else for Cuvet?
Yeah, Dan, just your goals for yourself. You probably have high goals for yourself this year. Just what are you hoping to accomplish this year?
Of course, I mean, the freshman player of the year is the biggest goal I have for myself, so I'm looking forward to that.
No nerves while you're teammates over here looking at you while you're doing an interview. Everybody's over here, all eyes on you, man. You're starting to feel like Tupac right now. Look at this.
Nah, they're my boys. I'm with them at least 6-7 hours a day, so you know.
Just making sure.
Obviously, just talk about the excitement over for you, you know, going into Friday, knowing that you're the game one starter.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. It's been a long time since that regional we had last year. We got a bunch of new guys. Everyone's hungry, you know, ready to get after it.
Speaking of all the new guys, just talk about the chemistry amongst this team right now and how you guys are going into the season, making sure you guys are cohesive.
Yeah, you know, it's been a big thing for us to get together outside the field and hang out with each other. Like you said, a lot of new faces, but I think we've been gelling together pretty well.
You moved into the rotation full time last year. What were some of the biggest things you learned about just being a college starter last season that you can take into this year?
Yeah, you know, I think I got punched in the mouth pretty early in those first 3 games, but just, you know, learning to fight through it and forgetting about the game before, but also learning from the mistakes that, you know, you make. Those are the biggest things for me.
What were some of the biggest things, like even just not just mentally, but like on the field that changed from that rough start of the year to the end of the year?
Yeah, I think we utilized the inside part of the zone more after those 3 games. And I talked to JD, and we had a conversation after that Florida start, and then, you know, put a couple things together and kind of took off after that.
Speaking of JD, kind of him getting elevated and you getting new pitching coaches, how's that transition been for you?
Yeah, it's been great. You know, Laz is my pitching coach now, and he's a great guy. The biggest thing between me and him is we've just been communicating. He's been learning the way I throw. I've been learning the way he coaches. And just having JD as my head coach now is unbelievable, just because he knows me as well as anybody. So yeah, having those two as my coaches is amazing.
What's it like, I mean, emotionally, the first pitch of the year is coming out of your hand? Like, what's that just like?
Yeah, set the tone. To me, that's what I'm going out there to do. Set the tone for what this year is going to be like.
Gage, what pitch did you work on the most this offseason?
Yeah, I'd say the pitch that I worked on the most was probably my changeup, and changeup to righties, but also using that heater a little more at the top of the zone is a big part of my game to help both my changeup and my slider play better.
And with your goals being so grandiose, you know, Omaha at the end of the season, how do you stay focused day to day, like in the early days here in February?
Yeah, you know, just coming out here with energy. That's the biggest thing. You know, you got to take it one day at a time. You can't look too far ahead, but know that we do have a mission, and it is Omaha.
Thank you.
What can you say about the other pitchers, especially like Rafe and Herick, those guys? What have you seen from them so far?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I roomed with Rafe freshman year, and the strides that he's made from then. You know, I'm a proud friend and a proud teammate to see the things that he's accomplished since then. And then Herick, new guy this year, but he has a great attitude and he's a stud as a pitcher. So, you know, I'm looking forward to taking the weekends with those guys.
And then, you know, one among the new pitchers on the team this year who stood out the most, and then going against, you know, some of the new hitters who stood out the most to you.
Yeah, like I said, you know, Herick is a stud. He didn't really pitch in the fall, but, you know, this spring he's shown what he can do, and like I said, I'm excited to take the weekend with him. And then as far as hitters, I mean, Lucas Costello, a Wake transfer, Daniel Cuvet, a freshman that has some of the most pop I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, those have been some guys that have surprised me. Jack's been hitting great as of late. Yeah.
Questions for Rafe?
Rafe, what were some of the biggest things that you worked on this offseason?
I think just like going to summer ball and like kind of understanding who I was as a pitcher. I feel like coming out of high school, like I almost tried to do too much, and then going to summer ball, kind of being more individualized, like a lot of time to understand who I was and that what I did in high school like plays at this level. And once I understood that, like I took a big leap forward.
What are you looking forward to the most about Saturday afternoon?
I feel like just I've been here for 2 years. I haven't got my start yet, so finally getting that under my belt and kind of just, I guess, not come out of the bullpen. The routine preparation work leading up to it is a lot different too. So that's something I'm looking forward to. You know, like I haven't experienced that since high school, and even a high school start's not similar to a college start.
Yeah, what's your routine like? You know, getting ready for a start or going to be? Because obviously, I'm sure in high school, you know, you were going to school all day and doing that. Not that you're not now, but you know, not that you're not now, but you know, what's that routine been like, and what advice have you gotten from JD and Laz and from other starters?
Yeah, I mean that's been huge. Like we have a lot of like guys working around. So Laz, JD, HR, and we got like a few new guys working here, like Brock and Alex. But those guys have been huge, helping us like prepare for the weekend stuff. And then also looking at a guy like Gage, who's been there and done that, and he's had success. So as probably my best friend in the world, I can go to him when I need help with something or what works for him, and kind of when HR covers the basics thing, he'll go in a deeper dive because I have the more time with him.
Rafe, what did that Texas game do for you individually, personally, confidence-wise, everything?
I mean, yeah, I think that like kind of was the finishing touches of last year, because I had my little like spurts of going out there and competing and kind of giving it what I got. But that kind of all got like cluttered together in 7 innings, and when that happened, it was kind of like inning by inning. JD was like, "Are you good for one more?" Until it ended up being that 7 times. So it was like I was taking it inning by inning, and then once I saw like at the end of the game, I'm looking in the 6th inning, and then it's the 7th inning, 8th, and the 9th come, and just like seeing there, and like that team could have easily been in Omaha. They had an unfortunate ending. So knowing that, it's just like, yeah, I belong here, and once I took that, I ran with it.
Rafe, can you tell me about the meaning of the 16 on your arm?
Yeah, that's from my dad. So my dad played hockey, so it's 16 was his number, and it's in New York Rangers font. So like that's just kind of a nod to him. And the 13 stars, my mom's from Philadelphia, so the 76ers kind of go the 13 stars on the number. So it's like my parents collabed into one text.
So yeah, just in general, season's a few days away. How are you and how are the rest of the guys feeling right now?
We feel great. We're excited to step on this field and give our fans a show.
And what's it been like working with JD? Obviously, his first year as a manager and or head coach. Just what's that been like?
It's been great. I've known JD for a long time, and I know he's a winner. He went to the College World Series every single year that he played as a player, so that's what he expects from us, and that's what we're willing to give back.
And speaking of expectations and stuff, teams not super highly ranked in preseason polls, stuff like that. Do you guys ever look at that and just say like, okay, like bet, like we're, you know, kind of like that?
Yeah, well, we don't really look at that now. The only rankings that really matter are the ones that come in June, so like the last ones. So we just take it one day at a time and play the game.
Go ahead. As a man, obviously everybody wants to compete. Just talk about the competitive level of this team right now going into the season.
It's very, very competitive. We have a lot of depth. We have a lot of new guys, a lot of hungry guys, a lot of unproven guys, and everyone's ready. We're ready to surprise the league.
You said you've known and worked with JD for a while. Like, what's been that experience like now as he becomes your head coach?
It's great, you know. JD's a competitor, and he brings the best out of everyone. And being here for the last couple months, I've seen every bit of that, and he's gotten me better, and he's gotten the players around us better.
And what's the energy that he's bringing in order to make it to the goal that you guys every year should have, make it to Omaha, winning a championship? Yeah,
he brings experience, and he brings what it takes to win. And whether it's talking to a player individually or to the collective group, he does an incredible job bringing the best out of the players.
A lot of cane on cane work. You know, in preseason, obviously, who's been the toughest pitcher you've faced so far?
I mean, we have a lot of great arms. I think people kind of sleep on us when it comes to our pitching, but they're going to find out that we have a lot of really good arms. I think the most surprising for me personally is a pitcher from Miami-Dade College, Herick Hernandez, and Rafe Schlesinger. They've both been bringing it, so I'm excited to see what they're going to do this year.
What's it mean for the younger players on the team that have the new transfers coming in to be able to be here for over a month? You don't go to Indiana, kind of leave South Florida until March 22nd. What's it like being able to stay here, at Mark Light and kind of get your feet wet to start the season?
It's the best. We have really, really supportive fans, so getting to play here in this beautiful weather and play for those fans that care about us so much, it means the world to us.
Lucas, was there anything that you can bring from your previous stop to teach players here that all the success that you guys had at Wake?
Yeah, one thing that we did so well at Wake Forest was not look at who we're playing and look at what we're playing. We're playing the game of baseball. We play the game and that's it. So bringing that mindset over here and really engraving that culture is what I've been trying to do.
We saw a little power from you at the alumni game. Do you think that's going to continue into the season? Is it something you've been working on? Do you feel like you can have essentially your best power number?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like the development here on the hitting side has been phenomenal. With Darren Fenster and Brandon Brewer and those guys, they've helped me a lot. So I give them a lot of credit.
Lucas, you're a Miami guy. You're from here. What does it mean to be able to finally play for these Hurricanes?
It means the world to me. This is the best place in the world, in my opinion. The best fans, the best everything, the best atmosphere. So being able to play where I've come to games growing up, it's amazing.
We'll do a couple more for Lucas.
Is there still like first game jitters or now having, I'm sure they followed you over Wake Forest, but like having your family here, that Miami feel, does that, any emotions come out of that?
Yeah, it's beautiful, honestly, because my parents live in a house that's 3 miles away from the field. So instead of driving 12 hours to Winston-Salem, they have a nice little 8-minute drive over here. So it's really special.
Costello, you're no stranger to transferring. You went from Gulliver Prep to Westminster in high school, and now in the same conference, Wake Forest to Miami. What did you learn in high school that you're going to bring here to Miami now?
It's a great question. I think just the energy that you need to bring every single day. When you're in a new group of people and being consistent with that, it really shows up on the field and off the field. So just being consistent, being the same person.
Starter Herick Hernandez, who also likes to go by Hialeah Fire.
Where'd that nickname come from?
I mean, it's just a nickname that came up from the team, having fun, and then since I'm from Hialeah, it just pretty much stuck around.
And being from Hialeah, getting a chance to, play for the Hurricanes now, what's that like for you?
Oh, it's awesome. It's almost like a dream come true. Coming from Miami-Dade to here, it's a big difference.
What's helped you kind of adjust and kind of find your footing here so far?
I mean, just the staff, and the teammates that we have here, asking questions around and just, being able to adjust with everything.
How are you adjusting to the difference from Miami-Dade to now?
Taking one step at a time. It's a really big difference here. Just the environment, the crowd, everything, the weight room, even classes is just very different. And I feel like I've pretty much, since the fall, I've adjusted well.
Did you come out to the light a lot when you were growing up?
To be honest, not really. This year is pretty much my first year here, and it's just amazing.
And how's it like playing Westminster against a lot of your teammates now on your team here in Miami, like you did in high school? You played against them. How's that like?
It's pretty funny because back in high school we had pretty much a rivalry. So seeing them here, it's pretty awesome that they succeeded with me.